provided by Thomas Allgaier and Frennis, based on the most relevant LinkedIn posts about social selling in calendar weeks 31 and 32. Frennis supports clients with identifying target attendees for events, crafting outreach that cuts through the noise, and driving qualified registrations through strategic LinkedIn engagement. You can find more info in the description.
So for the strategic B2B marketing professionals listening, you can basically consider this your executive briefing. We are completely skipping the fluff today. This deep dive is going to be a no-fluff, highly actionable breakdown of the top social selling trends that are currently, taking over at LinkedIn.
Exactly. Our mission today is mapping out the shifts in how B2B buyers actually operate right now and how smart sellers are adapting to that. And we're doing this strictly based on this incredibly curated stack of real-time insights from those 2 weeks.
Right, and it's wild out there right now.
Oh, it really is. So let's jump straight into the first theme. What we're seeing is that LinkedIn is essentially splitting into two distinct disciplines. The first one is this highly quantifiable measurement layer, and it's entirely anchored by the Social Selling Index, or the SSI.
Right, the SSI. And Miran Collado provided a really great technical breakdown of this. So your SSI is a score out of 100, and it's based on 4 pillars. You've got your brand, your network, engagement, and relationships. And the really crucial thing here is that it doesn't measure popularity, it measures consistency.
Consistency, okay. So it's not just about going viral.
No, not at all. And the stakes for maintaining that consistency are actually way higher than most people realize. Isabella Schnorr and Clarice Bucellaro both noted that if your score dips below a 60, LinkedIn will actively hide your profile from recruiter searches.
Wait, hide it entirely?
Completely invisible.
Okay, let's unpack this. Does obsessing over a vanity metric actually drive pipeline?
Well, I mean, that's the natural pushback, right? But Lucas Atompoulos is a perfect example here. His score sits at 73.
Which is high, right?
Yeah, it puts him in the top 1% of his industry, where the average is only around 30. But the thing is, he doesn't obsess over it. He just checks it maybe once a month because it acts as a 10-second early warning system for his daily sales habits.
Ah, so it's a diagnostic tool.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And David Kuliev proved that leaning into the system actually works. He jumped from the top 40% to the top 6% in the finance sector with just 3 weeks of highly intentional networking.
3 weeks.
Wow.
That's incredibly fast.
Yeah, and it literally earned him a trip to LinkedIn HQ.
Wow. So the platform definitely rewards you for playing along. And if you want to know the exact lever to pull to raise that score, Matan Kleiman shared a highly tactical one. He says commenting 3 to 4 times a day on posts from your ideal customers, your ICP is basically the biggest hack to raise your SSI.
Which makes sense. It signals relevance.
Right. And doing that actively doubles your weekly connection request limit. So you get double the outbound capacity.
That's a massive advantage. But Laura Camno notes there's a big risk there too. If you just use that extra capacity to send out poorly targeted connection requests and they get ignored, the algorithm treats that as negative feedback.
It flags you as spam.
Basically, yeah. It signals poor targeting and you risk getting your account restricted.
Which means, all that outbound velocity is totally useless without clear positioning.
Mm-hmm.
And Ann Yang highlighted that U.S. buyers will judge a profile in just 10 seconds.
10 seconds is brutal.
It's nothing. But Jonathan Levy offered a really practical fix. He says to run 4 specific AI prompts in Claude to audit your profile photo, your headline, your featured section, and your past content, just to make sure your positioning is razor sharp.
That is such a smart use of AI, especially since, that brings us right into our second theme, algorithm mechanics and the platform's absolute war on AI slop.
Oh, this is the big one.
It is. LinkedIn actually rolled out a new internal ranking model. It's called 360 Brew.
360 Brew. And Blair Huddy did a great breakdown of what that actually means. Under this 360 Brew model, a save on a post is now worth roughly 5 times as much as a standard like.
5 times. So they really want reference level content.
Exactly. And the algorithm is also actively scanning for those manipulative prompts, like comment yes to get the guide. It demotes those, and it aggressively suppresses anything that looks like AI slop.
Which is entirely necessary when you look at the scale of the problem. Noman Nissan estimates that 53.7% of the feed is currently AI written.
Over half the feed. That is just exhausting.
Yeah, and Fox Tucker, who works in digital media, he noted that 41% of long-form content is generated. And he pointed out this incredible irony. LinkedIn literally sold its users AI writing tools for 2 years, and now they are actively penalizing the exact output those tools created.
That is honestly hilarious. They armed the users and then declared war on them. And hey, By the way, if you find this kind of algorithmic breakdown helpful, make sure to subscribe so you catch our future deep dives. But yeah, LinkedIn is definitely fighting back. Britta Behrens, Nicole Mezzasalma, and Liam Darmody all highlighted this new three-dot menu option.
Oh, the reporting tool.
Yeah. It's a new report button that literally says, seems like AI slop. It flags low-value content with zero friction. There's no confirmation step at all.
Wow. And Joshua B. Lee actually noticed that while they're rolling that out, LinkedIn is quietly retiring its AI rewriting tool. They're replacing it with a proofreader that just preserves the author's original voice.
So they just want to fix your typos, not write your thoughts.
Right. And Joanna Louise Geese makes a really fascinating point here. She argues that unpolished human writing, even with small errors, is now the ultimate differentiator.
I totally agree with that. It's basically like fast food versus a home-cooked meal. I mean, AI slop is cheap, it's perfectly shaped, and it is everywhere. But B2B buyers are just starving for the messy, nutritious reality of an actual human perspective.
I love that analogy. And that naturally pivots us into theme 3, which is all about creating that authentic content and actually executing outreach that works.
Definitely. So looking at content, Magdalena Shaleka brought some fantastic data showing that specifics always win. She tested a post announcing a concrete price drop from 256 zoos to 230 zoo against a post with just a vague CTA.
And let me guess, the specific one won.
Massively.
Yeah.
Because the granular specificity anchors the trust. And Natalie Freer and Beatrice Lodu both stress that personal profiles get 8 times the engagement of brand pages.
8 times? That is a crazy multiplier.
Yeah, and 76% of people inherently trust a person over a company. The human face is just so much more effective.
But you still have to frame it right. Magali Daru did this super transparent postmortem on 3 of her own posts that totally flopped, like 66% below her average.
Ouch. What did she find?
Well, her autopsy revealed that they failed because she led entirely with her own expertise rather than the reader's actual problem. She completely missed the human connection.
Demanding authority without offering empathy. That'll kill a post immediately.
Exactly. And that exact same friction applies to outreach. The old spray and pray DM is dead. Alina Grigolite warns that generic Let's Connect DMs are basically treated as spam by users now.
Right, and as we established earlier, that trains the algorithm to restrict your account.
Exactly, it's self-sabotage. So Steve Osborne suggests a much better approach. He says to run simple polls or send really low-pressure value messages, something like, hey, I put together some research on this.
Right, removing the expectation of a meeting.
Yeah, and by doing that, he consistently yields a 30% response rate.
That's a massive conversion rate for outbound.
Yeah.
And to scale that kind of personalized approach, Darren McKee shared a brilliant internal tactic. He runs a 2-hour company-wide power hour, where every single salesperson works 20 specific prospects at the exact same time.
All engaging manually?
Completely natively in the feed.
Yeah.
And it reliably generates 10 or more meetings every time they deploy it.
That is an amazing operation, but what if your team is full of introverts who hate bragging?
Oh, that is such a common roadblock. But Eli Gunduz had the perfect advice for this. He says, introverts don't need to be loud influencers. They just need to document reality.
Document reality? Like what?
Like just sharing a complex problem they solved that week or a mistake they made. And Jasmine Ulrich reminds us that sharing results like that isn't bragging. It's literally the fastest way to build trust with invisible decision makers who are silently doing their research.
Oh, totally. And Deepak Butra is empirical proof that this works. He spent 2 years just consistently, quietly publishing technical observations. He avoided viral tactics entirely, and it earned him a top 10 ranking in global B2B sales coaching.
Just by quietly showing his work, which ties perfectly into our final theme. Scaling through advocacy and partnerships, and most importantly, proving the ROI.
Yes, the ROI conversation. We have to talk about employee advocacy first. Lee Densmore strongly advises against forcing your engineers to become creators. It breeds resentment. Just find 2 or 3 genuinely willing volunteers.
Right, and Mike Adam adds that those ambassadors cannot just be human RSS feeds. If they just do naked reposts of company content without adding their own perspective, it reaches basically nobody.
Because the algorithm wants the human context.
Exactly. But when you do it right, it works across the board. Sarah Goodall shared data from 860 B2B companies showing that employee, executive, and seller activity levels all rise and fall together.
They're an interconnected system.
Yes, but companies still manage them in disconnected silos, which is just crazy.
It really is. And if you're struggling to break through those silos, partnerships are an amazing alternative. Matthew C. Brown shared that 35.7% of his agency's clients actually come through partnerships. He pays a 20% recurring commission to complementary businesses who already have the buyer's trust.
Basically renting their social capital. That is so smart.
It's incredibly efficient.
But, okay, how do we actually prove the financial return on all this social activity?
Right. Well, Jack Clare tracked a social selling program that cost $36,800 to run, and it delivered $135,000 in direct revenue.
Right.
Yeah, a 267% ROI. But the kicker is that revenue usually stays completely invisible under last touch attribution.
Because it just credits the final demo request click, right?
Exactly. And Kayam Calvert adds that judging your social content on a timeline shorter than a standard 6-month B2B sales cycle is basically a fatal mistake. You have to let it play out.
Because the buyer is spending those 6 months silently consuming your content. And Amanda Bujo's cited Gartner's 2025 data, which says 61% of B2B buyers actively prefer a completely rep-free process now.
They don't want to talk to sales until the very end.
Right. And Ranjit Giri noted that 68% of buyers have a definite front-runner before they ever even make contact. And that front-runner wins 80% of the time.
80%. So if you aren't that front-runner, you've already lost.
Exactly. So how do you find the ones who are actually ready to engage? Connor Paulson shared the ultimate execution tip using Sales Navigator.
Oh, I love this tip. Tell them.
He says to use the filter for users who have posted on LinkedIn in the last 30 days. It will take a massive list of, say, 10,000 prospects and shrink it down to maybe 2,000.
Right, it cuts out all the noise.
Exactly. And because those prospects are currently active on the platform, your response rates will literally triple. You stop messaging dormant accounts.
It's such a simple but powerful pivot. So to leave everyone listening with a final thought, if AI can perfectly mimic professional polish and algorithms are actively hunting down automated slop, the only B2B currency left is your unscalable, messy human experience. Are you leaning into your flaws enough to actually be trusted by your buyers?
If you enjoyed this episode, new episodes drop every 2 weeks. Also check out our other editions on field marketing, MarTech, AI and B2B, go-to-market, ABM, and channel marketing and partner ecosystem. Thanks so much for joining us for this deep dive, and don't forget to hit subscribe.